Reimagine this holiday season with more capability and more adventure in Kia's ever-ready lineup. This winter, gift yourself what you really want during Kia's Season of Giving Back sales event. Kia is offering great deals on the capable Sorrento and the spacious Sportage, and deals on even more vehicles like the all-electric EV6 and the fun-to-drive Forte. So visit your local Kia dealer and explore all your newfound possibilities by enjoying Kia's Season of Giving Back. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely. Event ends 1/2/24.
What's the hats on the house? Got yeast, that's beast. This the Malting Hour where we talk about our drink and tell you what we think every other week. And if we get drunk, well, we might slur our speech. Got the gift of gab, the friends you wish you had. Join us for a drink, join us for a laugh. Time is never wasted when you're getting wasted. The Malting Hour here, people take your places. People take your places. People take your
Welcome to the Malting Hour. I am one of your hosts, Tony Goic, joined always with
Brandon Winninger.
And today is Christmas. Merry Christmas if you celebrate.
I bet it's Christmas all over again.
I don't think we have to worry about copyright stuff because you sang it like it wasn't the actual song.
Yeah.
I think we're okay.
It wasn't that good either.
No, I thought it was great. I would listen to that.
I'm coming off I've had a cold for the last couple of days.
I'm pretty sure the listeners can tell because you still sound slightly congested. Ooh, good. I'll be sure to up the volume on that one.
I woke up this morning. It's funny because this morning when I was talking, I felt fine, and
I was surprised to get a phone call from you. I thought for sure I was like, if anything, like we got like
cancel it.
And I was like, I'll just go get a beer and do a solo thing just so we can do a Christmas.
No, and I was like, I pretty much felt great all day until like I came home from running some errands, and then we've been nonstop. One of the bedrooms we have upstairs we use to kind of store stuff, and we've been moving that down here because we're having guests for the holidays.
Oh, right.
So we're clearing out the rooms, and I'm like, I like stopped like after like doing it for like an hour and a half. I'm like, I'm fucking tired. And then I was like, I was like, oh god, I'm coughing again. I'm like, here we go, I'm done. But yeah, so like the cough started to come back, but other than that, like I feel normal.
You sound fine. I know, and you normally don't.
I've had no desire to drink like the last 4 days, and this is the first day where it's like, I would like a drink.
I have not felt that way, and I have had some drinks.
Coming off that, now we're enjoying a nice tasty beer.
Yes, the first beer for this year's Christmas beer episode comes to us from Penrose. It is the Snow Boots Hazy Winter IPA, 7.3% ABV, baby. Brandon, tell us all about it.
Hazy Winter IPA. The temperature isn't the only thing freezing around here. Our hops are too. Using hops processed in a cryo process that concentrates the hop goodies, we are able to maximize our aroma compounds and limit the green matter and harshness that can come with. Yeah, that's it. Snow Boots debuted a couple years ago to a great reception and is a bigger, more hop aromatic version of our Goofy Boots. Okay.
Yeah, I've had those other boots that they've done. They've done some other iterations of it. Now that makes sense, because before we started recording, I said, what makes this a winter IPA? And that's a really clever way of doing it.
Well, and then as you were saying that, I looked over at the description, and it's like, oh, cryo. Okay.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's honestly, the cryo hops really help hazy IPAs to be fruitier than bitter, or more fruity than bitter. And this does it for me, man. This is a solid, not too sweet, juicy type of hazy IPA.
What's interesting to me is that's not something that I have thought of, being that we've brewed with fruit before, and I always freeze the fruit first.
Oh, interesting.
And then throw it in stuff to try to extract more of the sweetness and the flavor out of it, like
because all the moisture inside of it freezes the crystals, and it helps break up.
So it literally makes sense that process works for hops too.
Sure,
that's cool. That's a pretty good idea.
This is crazy drinkable for, I think I said 7.3, but it's 7.5%.
Yeah, 7.5.
It's really good. It's a good hazy IPA. It doesn't smell fruity. To me, it smells hoppy. Like it smells like bitter hops, but it's not bitter at all.
No, it's not bitter. I'm getting some of that like West Coast kind of stickiness, like reminiscent.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a little bit dank on the nose from what I can actually pick up. But I like it, man. This is it, when you poured it first. I went to the bathroom and I was asking Tony what we were gonna drink, and he's like started talking, and I went to the bathroom, came back out. I thought you poured Prost for a second. I was like, all right, I guess we're starting with Prost.
We're going with big cinnamon milk stout.
And I was like, that's fine with me. Because it kind of, in the profile, the way it looks is very similar. So.
Yeah, it's really good, and if anybody else gets a chance to try the other boots that they do, they're really good. I've not had a bad version of this beer from Penrose.
It's a very good haze on it too.
Yeah, it's the color is like a nice orangey. I might have some. It looks like I've got some
sediment.
Yeah, some like hop matter in there, which is crazy because I don't get any hop burn or any of that green that they talked about for using the cryo hops.
Are the other versions of the boots, are those also hazy IPAs?
Yes, they're all hazy IPAs. But not cryo hops as far as I can remember.
Got it. Well, yeah, I would assume like that would be the variant of this.
Yeah, that would kind of defeat the purpose.
No, I think this is very well done. And you sent me a picture of what you had picked up, and I wasn't exactly sure. I didn't look at like zoom in on all of them, but I saw there was a Penrose or whatever, and I didn't look in to see what the beer styles were. But if you're calling it a winter IPA, I mean this, you know. The process that you're doing it, you could do this year round, obviously.
Absolutely.
But it's a nice gimmick to have something to, like, especially an IPA to release during the winter.
And not a shitty gimmick.
Exactly. No, like it's an impressive way to get some very great aromatics and, you know, flavor profiles out of your hops.
I would say it's more of a clever way of making it a quote unquote winter IPA,
well, yes,
because you're using, you know, cryogenically frozen hops.
Agreed.
Yeah, I like this a lot. Brandon, if someone was throwing snowballs at you, how many snowballs... terrible. How many snowballs would you give this?
Are they yellow snowballs?
No, they're straight up just cool, normal snowballs. They're hazy snowballs.
Then 2. Now if they were yellow, I'd be like 5. No, I'm like 3.8, 3.9.
You're not a big hazy IPA fan to begin with.
Not
that you don't like it, but it's not your go-to style.
It's not my go-to style, and what I say is it's not something that I seek out. And when I have one, if I'm impressed, I will let you know that I'm impressed. You know, because there's good ones. I've had like again, sucking off Old Irving again. Like there's so much. Like, they make great hazies, too, that, that kind of got me, like, thinking about, you know, enjoying them a little bit more. Again, I don't naturally go and seek them, but, you know, if Old Irving does one, I'll try it, because they're usually pretty good.
Their collaboration, someone in Canada, IPA, EH.
Oh, yeah.
If you get a chance to try that. Did you try it?
I didn't.
You should. It's really good. It's very subtle, smooth drinking, and I think that's close to almost 8%. It's really good. It's like a hazy pale ale, it feels like.
Did you have that when you went with your mom, or?
No, I had that when I was hanging out with Matthew at Beer on the Wall in our place,
okay.
Which was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was a great time. I would say, for me, someone who likes hazy IPAs, I also judge hazy IPAs off of my burp.
I think you've said that before.
And I'm saying it again, baby. It still tastes good burping.
Yeah.
Like this, yeah, I would say it's like a 4.3 for me.
Okay.
A 4.3. That's up there pretty high for it's a really, really well done hazy IPA. And I like the play on it being a hazy winter IPA with the cryo hops. I think it's a fun way to make a Christmas IPA.
Yeah, I mean, bravo, good idea.
Yeah, love it. And at 7.5, that's easy drinking. At 7.5.
I'll be asleep by the end of this episode.
Yeah, Brandon's going to fade fast. This might not even be a full hour episode. I don't know what we're going to do. All right, let's move on to beer number 2 as we're just plowing through it. This is We're All Misfits.
Oh, I got sediment at the bottom of mine, too.
Oh, sick. And I did go back and forth for the can at the end there. This is We're All Misfits from Solemn Oath. Brandon, I'm going to need you to look that up so we can tell the kids all about this. It's an XMAS brown ale with holiday spices. So as you all know, I'm a big fan of brown ales, and I did grab another brown ale that had like cocoa, vanilla, and cinnamon in it, and I just thought it might have been too much to have two brown ales that were going to be spiced. So I decided not to bring that one.
Thank you.
And I don't know if we've had a Solemn Oath beer on here ever or in a while.
It's been some odd time.
So I'm filling this glass here. I'm pretty sure that's probably close to half, Brandon, just so you know.
Okay.
So don't feel like you have to drink this in the rest of the 16-ounce can. You can save it and drink it later to help you go to sleep, but I don't think you'll have a problem with that. I will say that the design on this can is super cool. It's a bunch of like random toys that look like they're not happy as the Misfit toys you would expect to look like. Ooh. Right away, it's a very nice, clear brown ale. It's like a tannish white head. There is definitely a little bit of spice. I want to say it's like that holiday spice mix of like, there's a little cinnamon, maybe nutmeg, something like that going on in here. What are you getting from that, Brandon?
Let's see.
Listen to him sniff that beer.
I'm getting traditional like brown ale, like predominantly.
It's funny that you say that because if this was poured,
or like a porter almost.
If this was poured for me, not knowing what type of beer this was, like not knowing,
porter,
not knowing that it was, no, I would say, oh, it's a good brown ale. And I think my mind, because I read, Christmas spiced beer, right away I was like, oh, I can smell this. Then I take a sip. I get very subtle spice, if any.
Agreed.
It's a really good brown ale, though.
Yeah.
And it is a little more chocolatey that leans closer to a porter.
Yeah, and so I just found a description on Untapped, and I'm not getting...
Lay it on us.
Okay. Housed in a portable dedication to 1964's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stop-motion animated classic, this is SOB's first ever Christmas ale. A rich and deep Xmas brown ale with fresh orange peel.
What?
Cinnamon.
Okay.
And a mix of holiday spice. Silky and layered with holiday nostalgia.
Maybe.
And holly, jolly aromatics of graham crackers.
What?
And a chocolate bumble bounce.
Okay. Interesting.
We got the wrong beer.
It tastes like a roasty brown ale.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No.
Like, especially for brown ales. Like, I love brown ales. This comes off as a heavier brown ale to me. Like, it's not a light, crisp beer. This is definitely a bit heavier. I get some spice, like I said. Now that I'm like, it's not up front, but it's like in the back end, like aftertaste wise. Sure, there's a little spice there.
Yeah,
I don't get that orange though.
It lingers a little bit. But yeah, I'm not getting any orange.
I don't get graham cracker.
No. Cinnamon, no. Chocolate I'm getting more than anything.
Yeah.
But I get that in brown ales. Not all brown ales, but that's subtle in some brown ales, anyway. Even if it's not the predominant flavor for me, like I can, depending on the malt that they use, I can usually pick up on some chocolate. But I don't know what the fucking chocolate bumble bounce is, but apparently that's supposed to be in here. So
I mean, sure, some chocolate.
Yeah.
I don't know what the bumble bounce is.
It's not bumbling and bouncing in my mouth.
You're just like supposed to be jumping around, and then he's coughing. I'm trying to burp. This is great.
That's why I got a mute button.
This is tough for me because I was really excited, and I feel like maybe I should have brought the other one. Like, I thought this was going to wreck our palates because
of all the spices?
Yeah, like a spice beer. Like, yes, there is like a slight spice aftertaste lingering in my mouth, but I don't know if I didn't know what this beer was supposed to be, if I would be perceptive of it.
I would say if we do end up recording next week, bring it next week.
We have to.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Maltese.
Whenever we end up recording next week, Bring it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because we always need a beer to share, multiple beers to share for that. Yeah, I'm not mad at this beer. I like.
But you like brown ale.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. Like I like it as a holiday beer. I was hoping for a little holiday spice.
Yeah.
Great Lakes Christmas Ale is one of my favorites, which, by the way, I did have one can of the bourbon barrel aged one left, and somebody drank it, so I apologize. They didn't know they couldn't have it.
Was your mom?
Wasn't my mom. Wasn't my mom. I'll tell you off, Mike.
Who am I murdering?
I'll tell you this. For that one, the Great Lakes Bourbon Barrel Aged Christmas Ale, it's okay. I liked it. The Christmas Ale itself, though, we don't need to mess with it. Just drink the regular Christmas Ale.
Yeah, I mean, that beer is fucking fantastic.
I'll grab that. I'll grab it again if I see it, but... Exactly, Aggie. You know exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, Christmas Ale can do no wrong in my book.
The more I get into this, it's like there is a spice in there, but then all of a sudden it just retreats, and it's a brown ale.
It makes me wonder if it's like sitting at the bottom, like the spices fall.
Here, if there's any more left,
there is.
Give me a little bit. Give me a little bit of that. Maybe, but you'd think that with like a beer like of this standard wouldn't. No, it still smells like a brown ale.
Yep.
I mean, it's good. It really is good. Like, I'll tell you this. I'll give you my rating. We're gonna go off of Misfit Toys. How many Misfit Toys would I rank this? If I'm rating this on a Christmas beer that says it has spices in it, I'm giving it a 3.25. If I'm going straight up on a brown ale, I'll give it a 3.9, maybe a 4, because it's a really good brown ale. I like how much they lean into it as a brown ale, because it does kind of like get really close to a porter for me as far as roastiness and chocolate goes. It's not like super roasty like coffee, but it is a bit heavier and thicker than a brown ale I'm used to. Like, I like a nice crisp brown ale that has like a nice roastiness that comes through that's almost subtle but still perceptive. This has the aftertaste of like chocolate. It almost hits. It does. The color is perfect though. I mean, that looks like a damn brown ale, man.
Yeah, you kind of nailed it on the head though. But what?
Ooh, I nailed it on the head. I love it.
Look, just kind of what I was going to say. But what is interesting is it's 5.5%.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
And it
feels like it should be more.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So here's an experiment we should do in the future.
We have so many ideas.
Just taking any beers that we haven't had before, or that we have had and maybe haven't had them in a while, and just drinking them, and then just by flavor profile trying to guess the ABV.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. That'd be a nice way to do the next mystery beer episode.
Yeah.
Instead of it just being mystery beers, but try to figure out where the ABV lands. Because then it lets us off the hook for Clark and I, at least, to, not say it's a Saison when it's a pale ale.
Indeed.
Yes, and you guys still keep listening to this show. Brandon, how many Misfit Toys are you giving this one?
I'm in the same wheelhouse. The fact that it doesn't match the description, I'm at like close to 3.25, like 3.1, 3.2. And then if I was going just a brown ale, I'm with you on that, like 3.75, maybe 3.8.
Yeah, I would say if you want a holiday themed beer that is subtle with the spices, I mean, like, there is that lingering like spice in my mouth right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Certain people are going to not, who would enjoy this, for sure. And certain people like us kind of want just a little bit more. And again, these ratings are just based on right here, right now.
Yeah, and I also wonder, like...
It's a good beer.
If it's fallen off, it was canned 3 months ago.
Yeah, I'd have a hard time believing it'd fall off
exactly.
That much, yeah.
Like, that you wouldn't notice any of it?
Solemn Oath beers, Solemn Oath, they're on their shit. You know what I mean?
Most of the time when you're making beers that are Christmas beers, they come out in August, September, but they're made to last through Christmas, at least.
Yeah, it's a good beer overall. Like, I don't dislike it. I do think I would buy it again, mainly because it's a brown ale that I really like, and it's 5.5%. And then, maybe just today's the day where you're getting over your cold. I might not have we just drank snow boots. Maybe that did something to our palates as well. So it's not a bad beer by any means. It's just the ranking we're giving it right here, right now. And I like it. Overall, I do like it. I would definitely have it again.
Yeah, when I do the whole swish in the mouth thing, I feel like I'm getting a little bit more.
Sure. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like about like the aftertaste in my mouth. I feel like this is there is. Sure. The only thing I will say that I don't get is the orange peel.
No, but there's some spice that's coming through that I could identify as holiday spice.
Yeah.
So.
Not bad. Way to go, Solemn. You made a solid brown ale that I'm definitely looking forward to trying again.
I'm curious if this is, if there's a base beer for this.
Good question. We always ask that question. We always ask the hard-hitting question.
Well, I mean, the reason I asked that would be I'd be curious, to do a side-by-side between the two.
I mean, I'm always down to try a brown ale. I don't care. I will have a brown ale any day, anytime.
I know that about you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Hey, we should
like the brown beers.
You know what we should do?
Take a break?
We should take a quick break. And we're going to take a quick break. Just so you guys know, this song that's about to play, you guys, if you listen to the show, that After the Final Four is performed by my cousin Kevin, composed, even though we came up with the idea. He and his wife did that. Kevin is also in a band called Celery. They're a local band here in Chicago. Super cool. And we're going to play a song from them right now. We'll tag them in this episode. Be sure to check them out. They're pretty rad. We'll be right back.
Hey, why don't you all come over? I know a really good spot where we can all hang out. You pull up your van next to mine in the parking lot and we can swap clothes and balls. Hey, won't you spend the afternoon? Why don't you spend the afternoon? Won't you spend the afternoon with me at the lake small? Why don't you spend the afternoon? Won't you spend the afternoon? Won't you spend the afternoon with me at the lake small? Yeah, all the cool guys, they hang out at the food court top, always talking about girls. Yeah, they're eating the orange chicken, talking about shoes and brakes, but don't take any of that to heart. Hey, won't you spend the afternoon? Why don't you spend the afternoon? Won't you spend the afternoon with me at the lake small? Why don't you spend the afternoon? Won't you spend the afternoon? Won't you spend the afternoon with me at the lake small? At the Wetzel's Pretzel stand, where the cheese and hot mustard go in and out of your wet mouth. Have a good time at the lake small. Have a good time. Have a good time. Time on my dime. Have a good time at the lake small. Have a good time. Have a good time. Time of your life.
And we're back.
Oh, shit. Have we ever stopped?
Well, yeah, we did hit stop. And then we played that song. What was the song?
That song. Oh, it just. That was from, you guys know him, Kevin Goggin. He did the After the Final Four theme song. He was on our American Pale Ale episode. That was his band, Celery, C-E-L, space Ray. The song was called Lakes Mall. Be sure to check them out on Spotify. Check them out on Bandcamp. Find them on Instagram. I know that's the only social media that they're on. I'm not sure if they're on anything else. But good music. They're good people. I got a chance to hang out with them, all of them, one time at Dovetail. Or Dovetail and Beguile for their Oktoberfest, which was super cool.
Is that when they played?
Yeah, it was rad. It was rad to see, and it's a little. I feel like it's a little taste of my youth with those guys. So they're fun. They're a fun band.
Are they all 15 years old?
No, they're closer to our age. Anyway, yeah. So check them out. Celery, C-E-L, space R-A-Y. Bandcamp, Spotify, anywhere you can get your music. Brandon, what are we drinking next, baby?
We are drinking Illuminated Brew Works War on XMAS.
If you want.
It.
Or if you want to.
It's a white peanut brittle stout, 11% alcohol by volume. I will tell you this.
What do you think of it?
I'm on the aroma. I'm getting like peanut brittle-ish.
Absolutely.
Kind of like with mixed with marshmallow fluff.
Yeah, there's like a butterscotch. Okay, this is going to be tough. I took a sip, made a face at Brandon. Brandon took the sip. Brandon, what do you think about this beer?
It's hella sweet. In not like a great way.
No, this is...
This might be the first time we don't tag a brewery.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too much. There's... when it comes to like adjuncts and things like that, obviously we're not shy to trying crazy stuff. This one is not for me, unfortunately. And so also disclosure. I've had a handful of Illuminated beers. I really have. They have. I went to the brewery. It's their beers are fantastic. It's really good. They keep making this beer. At least this is like the second or third time. There's also another variation of this beer that is not the peanut brittle. Me personally, I do not care for this. It reminds me of like...
why'd you do that to me?
Sorry. It reminds me of like the smell of old bad pancake syrup.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'm so sorry, Illuminated. But
Yeah, so I think that's what I was getting. Like when I was smelling it, I was, in my head I was like, I guess I just kept thinking peanut brittle. That's what I wanted to get.
Yeah.
I felt like I was getting that mixed with like marshmallow fluff before I read the description that actually says there's marshmallow in there.
We haven't read the description.
No, I know, but I was reading on the can.
Give everybody the solid description, Brandon.
Things change, the center will not hold, and IBW is no exception. We've updated our annual favorite, War on Xmas, to celebrate yet another holiday favorite, Peanut Brittle. So do they change it every year?
I know they had 2 out this year. I'm not sure what past years have been.
We got the same white stout base we've always used, but now we've added peanut and toffee with a little kiss of marshmallow to bring you a new holiday adventure in a can to help you deal with your family for one more year. I guess I'm dealing with my family because this isn't going down.
Illuminated, I'm not knocking you guys. I'm not knocking any of your other beers because I've been to the brewery. It's a great little spot tucked away in Park Ridge on Northwest Highway. Very tasty beers. Unfortunately, this one I do not like at all. It's too sweet. It just tastes, man, I'm kind of bummed out.
I really wanted to like this.
I did too. I thought it was going to be something that would have fit been in our wheelhouse for types of beers that we get into.
So now we've got some friends that have drank this.
Okay. Again, this is just me and Brandon. We're no professionals.
And this could be because it was last year. We've got some friends that drank this. So Ron checked into this last year, last January, this January, January 14th, and gave it a 4. Such a good beer.
And Ron doesn't normally rate beers. He'll just check in beers. And he only rates things that he's like, oh yeah, that's worth rating.
Yeah, I've got a hand, just like literally a couple of people, the lowest rating, from friends that I've had it, the lowest rating is 3.75.
Yeah, so this is definitely just...
And that was last year's edition. I don't have anybody that's done it this year.
So... maybe it's this year's batch. Maybe it's just us. It's just not a beer that we like. But again, they're a local brewery, so you tell us if you guys have this or had it. Let us know. Like, are we missing something here? Is it just us right here, right now? Because, like I said, I've had Illuminated beers before. They're very tasty, very good. I love their can artwork as well, and their little tap room is really cool. It's really rad. It's a fun bar type situation, and yeah, it's this is not a knock on Illuminated by any means. I am just, this beer is not for me.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna rate it. I don't, because then then it's just like, it's pointless. It's pointless for me to rate this just because I just don't care for it.
Yep. Agreed.
I'm bummed. I will tell you this, next year, or if I see the other because I did see two. I thought I saw 2 versions out this year. If I see the other one or I see it again, I will definitely try it because, like I said, I like Illuminated, and it would be cool to maybe it's just this variant or it's just us tonight. I don't know, but Brandon, that leads us to
Dun, dun, dun.
our final beer of the night. So when I saw this, by the way, I picked up all these beers at Beer on the Wall in Park Ridge today, which
You talk it up. I'm going to go rinse our glasses.
fantastic. That would be great. One thing I was going to point out was that normally I've never been there on a Saturday evening, especially before a holiday, to grab anything. This was crazy because there was a lot of breweries have their sections of where you can grab their beers. A lot of Off Color was gone. There was barely any Revolution. There was barely any Old Irving. And I felt very lucky to come across this one because the past few months I've seen random variants of the Henna series from Moore, and this one definitely popped out. This was the third beer that I grabbed when I was building the 4-pack. This screams Christmas. It's Henna gingerbread, and it has gingerbread, vanilla. It's an imperial stout, 14% alcohol. This is why I saved it for the end, because I figured it's a big beer. It's got gingerbread. You and I have had, I don't know if I think we did a Henna. Oh my god, this is pouring fucking oil. There you go.
Is it black as your soul?
This one, the Hennas have always been good, and if you've been to Moore for their parties and things like that, or just stopped in and tried the Hennas, Brandon, if I'm not mistaken, you still have 2 Hennas in your cellar over there.
Likely.
You have a birthday cake one.
I do.
I'm not gonna lie, because these
That
are
I
so
do.
good, we really need to have those.
Yeah, agreed.
So, pouring this, it looks as thick and as dark as motor oil. Swirling it around. Ooh, man. The head on it has a nice, deep, dark brown.
Makes me want to go put it in my car and see if it will be
I
like
get
oil.
gingerbread cookie right off the top for the aroma. Oh, boy. Did you take a sip? What do you think about this one? Sick boy.
Way better than the last.
Oh, sorry, Illuminated. We still like you.
Wow. There's a slight, I don't want to say it's like an oxidation. There's something that I'm kind of getting, but again, that could just be my palate right now. But everything else is coming through dude, it's the perfect thickness, the mouthfeel is perfect on it. It's super smooth, carbonated perfectly. And then those hints of gingerbread cookie are definitely in there. And that is pleasing.
It's sweet. It is thick. There's a nice vanilla undertone. The only problem I have with this beer, the ginger comes off almost, for me personally, it reminds me of ginger from ginger ale and not a gingerbread cookie.
See, that's the thing that I'm getting. It's more of, I'm getting the gingerbread spices that are typically in there, but that one thing that I can't put my finger on, that's what it is. It's ginger.
Yeah. And it needs cookie. It needs cookie, some type of biscuity.
Yeah, if you're going to call it a gingerbread, I mean, I far and away, this is much more palatable, than the...
Would I have, if this comes out again next year, I'll grab it again. When I say
And
that,
have it with some gingerbread cookies.
yeah, the ginger is just very potent for me.
Yeah.
It's not a bad beer by any means. It is just, I feel like the ginger's a bit strong for me. And the only reason why I can say that is because I've had ginger ale this week. And I love ginger ale. I try not to drink soda as much as I can, or I try not to drink soda as much as I want.
Yeah.
So I rarely have soda, and I got a ginger ale this week. And the spice from ginger ale is like very like specific. But I think it's the ginger and the sweetness is what's drawing me to that. Now, again, just like any other beer, I just kind of burped a little bit. It's kind of like a gingerbread cookie. Like it's like I'm eating a cookie. I just wish the flavor of the beer while I was drinking it, there was like a biscuity, cookie type flavor because it's sweet, vanilla, ginger, and even like a roastiness. It's just kind of subtle.
Two things. Yeah. First one, it's funny that you said the thing about drinking ginger ale. Like I've switched my normal everything I drink to the Canada Dry Zero Sugar.
Fantastic. It's so good.
And Becca's like, at night I'll come down and like with a glass of ice. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna drink some ginger ale." I was just like, because normally there was times I'd come down at night and if we weren't recording and I was just sitting here playing video games, I'd sit there, drink like a liter of Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And then I wonder why I'm up till 2 a.m. So I'm like,
I'm drinking carbonated water. I'm just a night person because I'm up till 1 or 2 as well.
Second thing is,
but I'm also playing Mortal Kombat 1 a lot.
Yeah. Second thing is, I'm gonna go grab some fresh made gingerbread cookies.
Interesting. I like that. And I'm gonna talk through this because I don't want to edit this out. Definitely not knocking this beer or even the last beer. It just these two just aren't in my wheelhouse of what I was expecting. The Illuminated one, I'm definitely looking forward to trying it again next year because maybe it's just this peanut brittle one is not for me. A white stout is very tasty. As you know, we love Old Irving's Prost, which is a white stout as well. This more, knocking stuff over. The Henna gingerbread, I think it accomplishes what they're trying to do. There is a gingerbread cookie, like, flavor to it because of the sweetness and vanilla and ginger. I just wish that there was a little bit more cookie in there, and I feel like a biscuit malt would have helped this. Again, not a beer that I wouldn't try again, and Brandon and I are these are just our opinions, and all the other Henna variants are fantastic. I feel like this beer specifically is very good to share because it's a 16-ounce can. It's a good beer to share between two people, especially around like Christmas. This is the best time to want to go ahead and try this beer. Brandon has just come back down with the gingerbread cookie. He is walking in front of me. He is. He's going to take a picture. I'm not. I hope I don't know where he's going to post it. Maybe to his personal.
I don't know. The wife told me to take a picture.
Maybe a personal Instagram. Maybe it'll be for the malting hour. But I want to try a piece of this gingerbread cookie. Now, from what I've told, my godson Benjamin did make these today. There's icing on this too, so that's where the vanilla is coming from. Oh yeah. Oh man, I love gingerbread cookies.
So, point of a note that's very important.
Come on,
these are not ones that he touched.
I mean, I'd be okay with that.
Because, there's literally a tray that were his cookies that when he was like pulling out the candies, he was eating them.
Yeah, thanks for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, like gingerbread cook. Like if this stout was supposed to be reminiscent of gingerbread or gingerbread cookie or gingerbread cake or whatever, they nailed the sweetness. They nailed the vanilla. The ginger is just a little bit much.
Yeah, and it's not even like it's the wrong ginger. Like, It's just strong.
And it's even like me taking a bite of the cookie with the sweetness because there's frosting on top of this cookie.
The only thing I get when I take a sip is the ginger.
Yeah. I mean, again...
Makes it better, but...
Yeah, not a knock on more. It's not, again, just like the last one. Maybe not my jam, but it's enough to be like, would I buy it next year? Yeah, I would because like especially if it's like, oh, I'm gonna go to a bottle share if it's like me, you, and somebody else, or like even Becca. Like I would drink a couple more ounces of this. I like ginger. I do like ginger, so that's the thing. Like, and this beer tastes good. It's 14% to top it off.
Well, dude, I love like when I eat sushi. Like the first thing I eat is the ginger. Nice. And like
pickled ginger is delicious.
I eat the shit out of ginger like that way. And I love gingerbread. Like it's just.
These cookies are really good.
Yeah, and it's like so it's funny because she went looking for like Betty Crocker or something like pre-made mix because she didn't want to deal with it because she was going to make it with Benjamin, and it's quicker to just have that mix.
Sure.
but she ended up pulling up a recipe. I don't know. It may have been my mom's recipe, but like,
Oh, nice.
they're
It's
like
delicious.
super. Like they're soft. They're like
The icing is really nice.
yeah, the
And-
icing store bought,
But also, like, if you remove the icing, I bet these cookies are also still just very good.
apparently I was corrected when I was breaking this down. This is a ginger girl.
Fuck. We fucked up. Damn it. Sorry, everybody.
Gingerbread girl.
It's a gingerbread person.
No.
Brandon, how many gingerbread women? No. How many gingerbread people are you giving this beer? Number one, you can base it on what they presented, just like we did for the last one, or for all the beers, based on what they presented, and also just based on what you like about it.
I love.
So you give 2.
I love everything about the beer except for the, and I even love the ginger. It's just too much ginger.
Yeah.
So I'm like 3.6, 3.7, because everything else is really well done.
And we've also had other Hennas before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I might... Man, this is going to sound shitty, but I'm like 3.2. It's just like...
Okay.
Only because I really was super excited for gingerbread, you know? And again, I like ginger as well. And the stout sweetness and vanilla is very good. I'm just kind of bummed that it's not gingerbread and it's just like ginger, vanilla, and sweet stout.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me wonder like what the play. My assumption is it was not intentional because it's very noticeable, like right off the bat.
Yeah. I mean, it reminds me of ginger ale.
And if I was just drinking it right away, like, you know, somebody's, hey, try this, drink it right away, take a sip, and I would be like, oh, this is fantastic. And then kind of as I did that, like I stopped and I was like, oh, there's something going on. And you were like, you had already taken a sip and you're like, the ginger. And I was like, oh, that's what that is. Like, that's the ginger.
Well, it was the same thing with the Illuminated beer. Like, I wasn't purposely trying to make a face, but you didn't.
I didn't even notice that.
Well, you didn't even seem like that makes sense because you didn't even seem like turned off by the aroma. But when you took a sip, you and I both kind of made the same face where it was like, it's just kind of not something that we're feeling.
Yeah, like and it's weird because it's hard to find a beer that I just don't like.
Yeah. Same here. As a meaningless cookie.
Or like, and again, it's not that like I would probably enjoy. Again, we know people that checked this in last year and really enjoyed it, so it makes me question if something changed.
Well, same thing with this.
Maybe they had it on draft and it was different. Like,
I'm also sure that if some of our friends, even if it's Dan or Clark or whoever, if they had this Henna, they might have thoroughly enjoyed this. Again, just based on our own opinions.
what is it? Is it Henna gingerbread?
Yeah, Henna gingerbread. Or Henna gingerbread. Henna gingerbread. Again, I would...
I have no friends that have checked into it.
Oh. What's the regular checking on
It's at a 4.
Yeah, I get that. It's just like we were talking about Bourbon County this year. You and I really loved Bananas Foster. There are people who I've seen was like, Bananas Foster, this tastes like banana runt.
Oh yeah.
What the hell are you talking about? So, you know, taste is subjective. This is just how we're feeling tonight. For sure, go ahead and try all these beers. I would say that the Snow Boots was my favorite. Solemn Oath second. The Henna Gingerbread third. And the War on Christmas, I guess that's fourth. I feel like you might be the same way.
Oh yeah, 100%.
In fact, like the brown ale, as a brown ale, might be number one for me. But Snow Boots, I thought it was clever for the winter IPA.
Yeah. No, and I love that idea, and I mean I don't have anything to like cryogenically freeze stuff, but
You should get something.
Okay, let me talk to the wife. But I would love to experience, like, even if I ever do like something with fresh hops, freezing them and seeing if that does something. That'd be interesting.
Sealed,
Yeah,
then dry them, then crush them into a powder.
and then snort them.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. You took my Christmas wish away.
Snortable hops.
Oh, good. Now I've got the intro to the episode. So there it is, everybody. That's our Christmas episode. We hope you're having a nice Christmas or whatever holiday that you are celebrating.
Monday.
Yeah. today, which is lame because I have to go to work Tuesday. Brandon, are you off on Tuesday?
I'm off all week.
God bless America. I spent too many vacation days earlier this year. Next year, I'm not
Thanks,
making that
camp.
Yeah, but everybody, I hope you have a nice Christmas. And if you have a chance to try these beers, go out and try them and let us know what you think. Obviously, this is an episode where we're very torn on these beers, so maybe it's us tonight. We don't know. We'd like to know it.
First two were great.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, and again, the henna wasn't bad either. That War on Christmas was not my jam.
Yeah.
Brandon, Merry Christmas, and I love you.
Merry Christmas, man. Love you too.
We'll see you, everybody, next week for the Maltese, which Clark
Insert applause.
and Dan are probably not a part of, but going to have some recordings of them because they have their top beers of the year. We'll see what happens next year. It's probably just going to be more me and Brandon and bringing Matthew back in. But when Clark and Dan can make time, they will. So we'll see you guys next week. So Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus, whatever you celebrate. We just hope you are having a great time with your friends and family.
Bye.
This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us individually on social media. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, and on Untapped as BDubDrinksBeer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Ace of Help Chicago, on Twitter, The Ace of Help Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all three. Dan can be found on Instagram as hip__hops and hip hops on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at the Malting Hour.